All right, it being just after 6, I will call the Board of Selectmen meeting to order. The first order of business is we're meeting with the cemetery, with the library, wrong department. We had some questions on their budget last week. So, do you guys want to start off, or?
Do you have new copies?
Yes, you guys have the new copies? Yes.
We do.
So yes, actually what we did is we went back and we recompiled the historical data using the information we got from the town, using our historical records. This is our final clean copy. You can take a look at page 3 where everything is tallied up. You can see with an increase in budget, we're really just looking for an additional $5,000. That's really to support our continuing technology upgrades, continuing to support additional hours perhaps for the librarian and additional support services for the library itself, and then to increase our programs budget in order to better support folks.
Did Carrie give you the profit and loss when you made the photocopy check and then what our expenditures were?
No.
I brought that in last week.
Question. Your line item for the librarian's salary increased by $6,000.
Actually, what's interesting is looking at our profit and loss compared for last year, we actually under budgeted for our librarian salary because it's not 9,000, it's actually closer in a year to about 11,000.
Well, but what I'm just saying that you have budgeted for 9,000, the current budget that you're in. You have 9,000. You're asking for 15,000. That being said, no matter what you're actually going to spend, your federal employee tax had decreased by $2,200.
Because that's a line item where we found that it was very over budgeted for some reason. I don't know, for 2021. So looking back at what has actually been spent on the employee federal taxes, it's not been anywhere close to what was budgeted for 2021. So the budget for 2022 is actually lower for federal taxes to take into account. That's probably going to be closer to what's being spent.
Yeah, I see it's what they actually spent was 800.
Right, yeah.
So if even with that, looking at the fact that we're generally spending about 11,000 a year for the librarian salary, if there was any discrepancy, first it could be taken from the 15,000 that we're requesting into the federal employee tax. That will cost some programming hours, but it's something that, as we are making sure to get our budgets more true over the next couple of years, we'll be able to do.
I have a question. Why did you not have insurance and liability not budgeted last year, but it's budgeted again this year, for next year?
Not sure. I don't know why that line item is missing from last year, it's just part of the historical documents we received.
Okay.
So I think everything was combined in. I have last year's. This document is different from what was submitted. And I think how it worked last year was our state tax insurance and federal taxes was combined in our federal state payroll was up above. So,
Gotcha, yeah, that's,
so nothing's missing. I can give you a copy of that if you'd like.
yeah, that's what it looks like, because they took that insurance line and roped it into the federal employee taxes, which is another reason the taxes all got too high for last year. For 2021.
I know the year prior, it wasn't done because that's how we ended up with penalties. But I wasn't, I was just a trustee, I wasn't chairman, I wasn't aware of all that.
I guess it's the same thing with the bookkeeper's salary, that you have
Yeah.
no budget up until this year and nothing next year.
Yeah, I think
Well, the
the
building
bookkeeper
maintenance.
salary got, did that get put
Maybe we
into
took
the
that out.
salary?
Right.
That was just the
They put it back
employee salary?
in, $2,000.
Yeah,
Business
Yeah.
systems.
Well, we gotta take that
and
out.
then bookkeeping salary.
okay, so that's, for the accounting
Yeah.
fees,
Really?
that,
Well,
under
yeah, it
contract
does.
services, so that's including the accounting fees.
Legal.
The bookkeeper.
Don't like it, but it's good.
Right.
You got a tenant upstairs,
Yes,
works in the library.
yes.
What are her jobs detail and what does she do? I mean, what in detail does she do?
During normal times or during pandemic times?
During pandemic or normal? I thought we gave her a low rate so, for her work in the library. So if she's not doing the secretary work, who's doing it?
So after the experience that we had from 2018, 2019, we thought it was best to
Mind
have,
putting your camera down, please?
He doesn't have
He,
Put your camera down, I
He-
want my picture taken.
he can legally record.
so after 2018, 2019, that board, we had things that happened, and then we thought it was best to have a bookkeeper to bring us current. So she brought our books current from 3 years, and then we thought it was best to, because of the stickiness that we got into trouble a little bit with the federal taxes and stuff and the workman's comp insurance. And we're not, I'll tell you now, we're not familiar with that. So we thought it was best to hire a payroll person that does that as well.
Right, and the skills for a payroll clerk
Sure.
are going to be different than the skills from the library. If we're looking for somebody to do a
And
librarian's job,
the librarian can't do her own, a lot of this,
yeah, she can't do her own payroll.
no.
I just asked her what she got in return for giving her no rate, so.
So she does all the,
So we also went back to her average salary, which is about $11,000.
and I don't know if you remember, but it was the year before last where Karen didn't have a review. So we had to catch up her review. I believe she was hired on in 2017. So we had to catch her up to the review. I believe if you saw that increase.
Yeah, so the librarian salary has been fluctuating because we've had to do some budget corrections or payroll corrections for her. We are current with her now, so.
So I don't know if I'm just reading this wrong, but this profit and loss sheet, for some reason my math doesn't add up with the math on the sheet, but it shows, my math shows that you should have, a surplus of $13,775. subtract your total expenses from your total income, still getting 13,775 not accounted for.
It's shameful. The idea that you would take health threats like climate change and terrorism.
Apologies.
I honestly don't have an answer for that, because I don't normally do the quick looks, I just print out the reports. So I'm thinking, we did have, Berkeley that comes in, that goes into the money market account. That comes in a couple times a year, 3,000.
Yeah, well, that would be your investments, right? Your return on investment.
Well, that is a net income that comes to us, we deposit the check. It's not an investment.
Okay, because you have an income from investments listed here.
Because we have a charter trust.
Okay, so,
Well,
yeah,
so, and we just had that meeting last night, and so that one grew up to 79. But if we wanted to access cash to that today, only 5,000 would be available.
right.
And that is also for the running of the library in perpetuity.
Right.
So, no, I took the total income from 9019.33 and subtracted our total expenses of 275.34. I got 13.
Well, I do know this.
Do you got a different sheet than I do? Because I don't have either of those numbers you just listed on this sheet in my hand.
Oh, I don't know. I got the 29th, July 2019 through August 2020.
Yeah.
Although looking at these, like,
Oh, yeah, well, the one Amanda handed me is not the same as the one you're holding.
oh, okay.
That's why I don't have any of them numbers.
Oh, sorry. And I do know this, a portion of our rental income before it was changed to its own account went from March to October. And so October, we made its own account last year. So
So all of this rental income is for the care of the apartment.
no, you jumped too fast. So a lot of the rental income before it went into its own rental account is in the operation budget account. So when I'm saying.
Yeah, but it still ends up counted part of the total
It wasn't
income.
separated until.
Right, it wasn't separated, so on here, it's not gonna show as rental compared to operating, but your total income is still gonna be the same.
Correct.
No matter which account it went into, the total is gonna end up being the same.
Yes.
Which I am glad that we've resolved that issue and it is now being separated.
Yeah.
So in the future, it'll be easier to,
It's going on a year now that it's been separated.
right,
So everything that's in the rental income right now, some of it will be used for utilities for the apartment, some of it will be used for upkeep of the rental apartment.
right.
So not all of that $6,000 should be considered as income for the library, because it is also to support the apartment.
The fact just gone through it, it was just all done, wasn't it?
True, but you don't want to keep a maintenance budget
I
of
would say
zero.
3,000 probably would be,
Brand new pack.
2 rooms is brand new, that's what she has. But it is an old building, and with what the issues that we had affected her apartment too.
Is the roof coming off?
That's what I think. That flagpole's shaking real bad though.
Well, lots of critters.
thought we did take that 2,000 in the request, didn't we? You probably told us this last week, but are you planning on buying a new computer? Is that why that line item's gone up so much?
Which one?
Office and computer.
Yeah, we have like old laptops, but we,
We can't run our
Yeah,
we can't run our books on the computer that we have. We just couldn't look at it during our meetings, so
and while there, yeah, and while there has been, there was money requested in, 2020, 21, that is going to cover just bringing everything up to standard. So if there's any kind of expansion that we would want to do, for example, expanding our Wi-Fi access so that folks can use Wi-Fi outside the library on the grounds, we would have the budget to do that. So that's why we requested the same thing. Yep.
and even inside the library.
Right, there are certain places.
Upstairs, that could be available for Wi-Fi use.
So, you said the rent for the apartment was 500? So I'm guessing this profit and loss isn't for the fiscal year the town runs on, so this must be for, well, it would be for longer, because you got 7 months worth of income in here, so, for rental.
right now, all, what we pay out of that rental income is,
Well, no, I'm not looking at what's paid for out of it, I'm just trying to figure out a timeline here, how long this profit and loss sheet is for. And it says at the top, June 2019 to August 2020, but there's only 7 months of rent listed.
No.
It's been about a year, yeah, so that,
yeah,
Okay.
it wasn't until after the auditors left, which probably was October, November last year, and it was addressed to me then. I put a big note in the book to go forward, to have its own account.
these numbers ain't gonna. I'd rather see a profit and loss sheet from July 1, 2020 to now as being the fiscal year, the budgeted year that we're talking about. I mean, we're looking at a budget that goes July 1 to June, whatever the last day of June is. But then I'm trying to look at a profit and loss sheet that's for over a year worth of, so it's hard, I mean, trying to figure out how many bananas I need out of a case of apples. I mean,
Well, unfortunately, you can't bring our laptop here because, it always needs to be charged in too, so
yeah.
we're not able to.
But monies have been coming out of that account to pay.
No, and I get that, I just,
We just wanted to get the time frame
Right.
together, the same
Right.
time frame as our fiscal year, which runs from July 1 to June 30th.
I went with June because the auditor sent me stuff, the checklist for June to August.
right. I just,
That's why I did that.
I like, it's easier to figure out the better budget if we look at the profit and loss from this current year that we're currently in fiscal year, starting July 1. And then compare it to last year's, which would be July 1, 2019 to the end of June 2020. That way we have an actual full year's worth of numbers to look at, what came in the year, what went out in the year. Looking at it this way, it's well over a year, like 18 months almost. So it's hard to, you can't tell what came out and went in within a year when you're looking at the total for 18 months.
I have one from July 2018 to July 2019, and then July 2019 to July 2020.
That would be a lot better. So that's a lot closer. Okay, what other, what's that?
Where's the one I gave you?
Right here. Do you guys have any other questions for them on any of this budget?
I don't have that profit and loss that you guys had anyway.
Well, here, I'll hand you this one in a second.
Sure.
Well, this does, maybe a couple seconds. Before I do too much math, just your income on your profit and loss, does that include any, monies left over in the account from the previous year? Or is this income just the income for the year?
I've heard it came in, because I know the previous years, well, I'll be honest, the auditor said last year that there was 10 in the account, because the surplus. But I don't know for sure.
It's still not adding up.
I do have June 2019 through August 2020, and June 2017 through August 2018, and
Well, no, I'm looking at July 2019 to July 2020, which is a year. But the numbers, even on this sheet, don't even add up. Shows a total income of 42,306. Total expenses. Oh, wait a minute. Never mind. I figured it out. Yep. Go ahead.
so you're saying that the auditors are requesting from June, or from July? I think it was 2018, 2019. Right, but the reason they ask for July and August is because any checks that you wrote in June, they need to see where they cleared. That's why they always ask for 2 more months, but the fiscal year actually goes from July 1 to June 30th. Okay. Okay.
I don't have any other questions. Do you guys? Anybody want to make a motion?
down, I didn't ask you, I mentioned it last week, but I didn't actually ask you, the, copies of the trust funds? No, no, maybe, no, that's not. That's all right. I don't, did it show on this? I know you have the money market account,
Yeah,
but what what else do you have?
the charter trust.
Okay. And, okay. Oh, that's right, 'cause there used to be like 4 or 5 and they combined them.
I don't, they used to be Citizens, and
They're
then
not?
used to be Bank of America, and then they combined it. into
Right,
one.
right. Yeah, Brian Moser combined those. So the total investment is just for those two, the money market and charter trust?
And the Berkeley,
And the what?
Berkeley.
The other question was, and it was asked last week, because, I think it was, Jennifer, you had mentioned last week and again tonight, one of the increases was to, provide more programs. And it was asked, do you have numbers? You know, basically head counts?
Headcounts? Not specific headcounts, we have material headcounts, so that's how many materials have been purchased, all materials have been used.
And it's difficult through the COVID because they're only open curbside, right?
Actually, on Thursday, we're gonna be opening up for appointments or walk-ins, one party each. So, I mean, it does limit the amount of face-to-face time that we have, which is why we have to do a lot more thinking outside the box. One of the benefits that we do have is that front porch and our side porch are very visible to traffic, so there's great places that we are able to kind of put together craft kits or takeaway projects that children and other families in the area can take and use at the houses.
Yeah.
I think Karen has actually planned another pumpkin festival or pumpkin carving activity coming up this month as well.
This is her library report for this month.
Thank you.
Yeah, so she actually just put together a backpack drive where she put together backpacks for kids at the Head Start and the Learning Center. For kids going back to school, which included some sanitary items as well as educational books for them. In the spring, she also had seed packets and books that we had that were in our donate pile that normally would have gone to the town book sales or Pickle Festival or the farmers market. Those were instead put into a donation bin. Kids took all the herbs and seeds and took all the books, and everybody had a great time.
Amanda, how many pumpkins are you gonna be looking for? This is kind of a sidebar, so,
Probably like 20.
all right, give me a call.
Okay.
I'll put you in touch with a grower, a friend of mine, so maybe we can either get them donated or at least at a reduced rate.
Okay, awesome. And that's also something that we've been doing, Karen's been doing a pretty great job of reaching out to connections in the community and using the connections we have for any discounts, folks who are willing to donate. She actually contacted for the backpack drive. She actually got the manager down at Walmart to donate gift cards for supplies. So she's been doing a lot of work up there for that.
Any other discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None, motion carries.
Thank you guys so much.
Yes, thank you very much for coming in. I'm glad we were able to work through that and look forward to seeing good change, good progress for next year.
Thanks, Paul.
Oh. Yeah. I'm not ignoring people tonight while I'm writing. I'm taking the minutes of the meeting, so. That was all the budgetary stuff we had tonight, wasn't it? Oh. Okay. I left my budget book in the other room because I didn't think we were going to do anything else, but well, insurance is next alphabetically, so let's go with insurance. I'll share with Jack.
No.
No, that dropped.
So I contacted Primax and I asked what the increase was for, so our insurance is based on a 5-year plan. And there's a case out there that's still pending, that is a large dollar amount. They are planning on going to court on it. But that is why, and depending on, so if that's the proposed amount, the 129.5 is the proposed amount that they put aside for the claim, not saying that that's what the payout's gonna be. So next year, it will be back into the pool, and whatever the claim is, then we should see a decrease, provided that we don't have any catastrophic increases. And the paperwork that I gave is just based on 2017, so, but it is within the 5 years that they look at. Yes. I spoke to her last week, and it should be going to court soon, so if they can, settle up.
Those lines are all contractual anyway, aren't they? Really
But
not
I
a lot.
just wanted to explain where the.
Right. No, I'm glad you gave the explanation for the increase. No.
You gotta have restrictions.
So,
Well, vehicle insurance went down a couple thousand anyway.
right. One of them dropped a little.
Yeah, it really wasn't that big of an increase.
does anybody wanna make a motion on this?
I'll make a motion to, accept the 70,222 for the insurance budget.
I'll second that.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None, motion carried. And what was the other one, Amy? Personal administration? Huh?
This one actually went down about 40,000. 40.
Yeah, because of the health insurance.
Yeah.
Right, because the decrease in the health insurance that we talked about last week, right, Amy?
I don't see, oh, that's the 10,000 right there, reimbursement.
I'm not quite done looking at it, but you
Okay.
guys?
No, it's fine, you guys can keep reading it before I'll wait to call the motion.
What were you saying, Shan, that you're okay with the 523, 247? Yeah. Well, I actually would like to decrease it by 10,244. Remove the flex plan since we added in the health reimbursement arrangement. Because we're still at 90-10 percentage-wise. We added $10,000 into it. That's the three things I was talking about last week.
No, he wants to take away 10. The 10.
10,244.
He wants to do away with the flex plan.
Will you take that as a friendly amendment?
Make that a motion?
Well, he made the motion.
Yeah, oh.
He just asked,
Okay.
I asked him if he'd take that as a friendly amendment, meaning that it should be part of his motion now. So that would be. $513 and $3.
513003.
Yes. Who seconded that, Gloria?
Yeah, Gloria, do you still second that?
Yes.
With the amendment? Is there any other discussion on that? You still need time, James?
No, I'm good now, thank you.
Okay. All those in favor of the motion on the floor, the 513003?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None, motion passes. Was there any others that were ready, Amy?
There's none other scheduled now. But I mentioned last week that he'd like Conant Library to come in, next Wednesday. I spoke with Dennis today, he's gonna be the new chair because, Colleen is moving. So he's asking for the collection fees because he and I were going over the budget and I was trying to explain to him how you guys would like to see more of a breakdown rather than just the two lines of the expense and, the receipt.
Yeah.
So he wants to, put together more of a spreadsheet for you guys, he's asking for a 2 week extension, so, the 11th, November 11th.
He wants to come in on the 11th instead? Yeah, that'll work.
Amy, were you able to give him any guidance on maybe looking, what avenues to look down on the health insurance?
I spoke with Pauline and I spoke with him because, we looked at the policy and what they actually gave the librarian over there was the very best insurance that there was. So speaking with Dennis today, they had a conversation, the trustees and, the librarian, and she's willing to go down to either the 3 or the 4, which is the plan we had last year and the plan that we're going to this year. So I'm not sure which one that they're going to, but, and then he was saying that, in the breakdown, where it says, where it looks like there's $15,000 that he's requesting for, he said that only half is requested from the town because the other half is coming from Peter Atkins.
Yeah, it was never broke down that way.
Right, so he's gonna do that for you guys, coming forward. Now, as far as the librarian coming on to our insurance, that cannot happen, because she's not an employee of ours, and not only that, but she's part-time. So in order for, us to accept the librarian as an employee over here, you'd have to then change your policy to offer part-time insurance, insurance to our part-time.
Right. Well, that's the point I was trying to bring up last year and again this year, that we don't offer insurance to part-time employees.
Correct.
So,
So they're gonna stick with paying their own, but they're gonna go down to the other plan. The other thing, Dennis asked me to look into, and I had a call out to, Primex, is the, contents, the insurance, and how they insure their contents in there,
Yeah.
insure the building. So he's wondering if he could get on to the town's insurance, and we're not sure if he can or not, so Tony might contact us and look into that, and then give you the information. But first of all, you know how much the value is over there of the content. So he's supposed to get with, Abigail and get their current policy now, so I can forward it on to Primex.
that'd be good news, because I remember Harvey Saran talking about a few years ago how undervalued the insurance was compared to the value of the properties that we have.
So Dennis and I are working, and he's gonna put together something and come in, and we're gonna go over it, but he was just asking if he can have an extension till the 11th.
Thank you.
And then next week, we're also planning on doing water and sewer, so you want to push them off to the 11th as well?
We can, because they're fairly straightforward.
Right, and I put their budget in your books too, so you guys can,
Yeah, we'll just start at 6 and do all 3 of them.
Right.
on the 11th.
Yep.
Don't look at my stuff. This is mine.
Cheating over there?
So are we all set on budgets?
Yes, we are. Thank you very much, Amy.
Thanks, Amy.
All right.
I want to know whose interest you're going to be able to read.
Most of the time I can read my own. All right, moving forward. Next order of business is to approve the minutes from October 14th.
I'll make a motion to approve those.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None, motion carries.
Already took it all out.
No, you just went to the agenda.
Oh, yeah. I'm used
That's
both, so I can move on. Next is a letter in here that, from Amanda at the Fair Library. Indicated that the rain gutters that we had put on are pulling away from the roof.
How long has that been up?
A little over a year. We just did them last year.
So maybe we can ask
We'll have to get Carrie
to reach out to the company.
reach out to them and find out what's going on. I know they should be warranted longer than that. Next in here we have, there's a, permit to excavate, but there's also, to go with it, there's also the, application for water availability for a new water connection. This is at 50 Forest Lake Circle. The location has already been dig safe, and, that was map 34, lot 29.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's already approved. It's already all approved by Rick. We just need to,
I'll make a motion to approve both of those.
approve them both.
Yes.
Okay. And just for the record, the, permit for excavation for that same property was submitted by, J. Roy. The date of work is from October 26th to November 6th. So James and Chan, right? Any other discussion on those? All those in favor? Aye. Approved? Opposed? None? Motion carries. Now, there's only, yeah, the only spot on the permit to sign is for Dale to sign. But we do have the, water connection that we can sign. Chin, do you want to speak on, I guess you and Mike Coop and Mike met about the steeple?
We did, Mike Coop, Mike went up there. What was happening, the water was coming in, not down the louvers, but at the bottom, there's some spindles there,
Yep.
and they're wide open, let the water in. With that storm, it was blowing the rain right in there, flooded the place, so, we spent, about 3-4 hours up there the other day, and, had Amy order some plastic, and Mike's gonna come back and put it up sheets from the louvers down, so that the water can't come in anymore.
Okay.
That shouldn't have to be replaced every few years, because those plastic sheets don't last.
Well, we got it up there.
Plexiglass.
Yeah.
Lexi and Bobby.
Oh, okay, when you said plastic sheet, I thought you meant like,
Oh, like a shower curtain?
Yeah, well, we got that up there now, just until we get the.
okay.
Mike, was that, what was up there for protection before, do you know? I mean,
Nothing.
Okay. So, okay.
Okay, plexiglass. What's this about?
Amy.
I looked at my notes up there with Dennis, can we do it on November 18th, not the 11th?
Yeah, we can.
Water and sewer.
Yeah. Might as well move them all to that.
Thank you.
Maybe before you go, did you get a chance to, check it out? Plexiglass?
It's over here.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, I was able to get it
coming tomorrow.
Right, it's coming tomorrow, I'll be able to put it up. The sheets that I got for denomination was supposed to be 3 by 8, I couldn't buy 3 by 8, we got 4 by 8s. These sheets, there's a crack in 3 of the sheets, but it's like maybe 10 inches in, so we gotta cut it anyways. And then there's that corner piece there is broken, but the guy ended up giving me 1 sheet for free and had to buy 3, so, because of the damage.
I mean, he's got 32 inches wide. Remember we got him before, Arbison, Steve Davenport.
He couldn't get them until next week, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alright, next we have a letter in here, from Beauvais Construction. It says, Winchester Selectmen, we are writing at 119 Warwick Road, map 5, lot 115. Richard Drew and Charlie Lawrence are working on plans for us to present to the planning board for 6 single-family home lots. And we thought it best to first obtain this permission if possible. So what's the feeling on the board on 6 new water tie-ins?
We already talked to
Talk to Rick, yeah.
because I don't think, if you put 6 more on there, you're gonna lose more pressure at the other end. We already don't have that pressure down there.
Well, I had talked to Rick about it, and, the residential water isn't the issue. It's fire. We don't have, as you're well aware,
That's my only concern.
on Wall Road, the planning board years ago,
Rick will be here, I'm sure.
yeah, those 4 homes they put in across from Ken Cole's old house.
Right.
That's why they, the plan, because remember when the Jones's house burnt down there by Johnny Waller?
Yeah.
They didn't have any water pressure for the hydrants. That's the issue. Absolutely, yeah.
Alright, well,
I think Rick was fine with it, but
Yeah.
we'll table it until Rick either gets here tonight or till next week. Next we have a request for payment out of the cemetery donation checking account for $27.15 to Hampshire Lumber.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None, motion carries. Next is a request, or a payment to Zoll, it's a 1-year contract with Zoll for the ambulance department for $510.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None, motion carries. And that's just got room for my signature, so I'll sign that after. And then the last thing I have in here, if Rick comes in, I guess he can speak on it, but, talking about this case study for the solar, for the wastewater treatment plant.
I read that.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not sure what Rick wants us to do with this, though.
I think it's just showing some of the benefits, different plans and experience that.
Do you want that?
This is
No,
for the
I-
same project we've already applied for.
Yeah, just similar, showing what they've saved over the course of X number of years that they've had it.
Would the board be all right? And if she accepts that, I'd like to have, Natalie, that's what she thinks.
Yeah,
I was gonna ask you that last week.
Natalie, when you,
I didn't get back to it.
I'll sit right here.
yeah, doesn't have to be tonight, but, yeah. Other than that, that's it in the folder. Does anybody else from the board have anything?
The safe at the cemetery, the Sheridan House, I guess can't take it, and Sherry wants it gone. So,
You can find a home for it then.
yeah, that thing's, I went out there, that thing probably weighs 4,000 pounds.
Yeah,
It's big.
Yeah.
It's very
You ever-
big.
Have you ever opened one of the doors?
yeah,
Is it open?
they can't lock them.
They can't?
Oh, they don't have the
No,
combination?
they don't have a combination.
No, we just had it junk.
No, I don't think you wanna junk it, it's
No.
pretty,
We had two of them and they junked one.
it's pretty neat.
Oh, yeah, it's neat.
You have room at your house?
No.
That's what I was just thinking. We'll come up with something.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
She can,
Should move it though.
yeah.
Yeah, but we've
It's from like
mentioned,
the 1800s, and the company's still in business, you know, they said.
well, I know we talked
It's all-
about Sheridan House, but I know we've also mentioned a couple times that we'll come up with something, so we need
But
to.
the Sheridan House, go right out to the floor.
Oh,
yeah, they were actually talking about putting it in the barn one day.
Yeah, I think so.
But we definitely need to figure out a home for it.
Within the next week or
Soon.
so, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
I
don't know where you, yeah.
Yeah, that's how they moved it. I think Ronnie moved it.
Yeah, I think that.
Well, we'll work on that. Anything else?
The other thing, I know I talked with Claudia several times about it, is the gazebo over there, that roof, we gotta, and that tree over the top of it is the problem.
Yeah.
Did you point that out, or somebody? Yeah. But she gave me she found a remedy for that mess, so.
Cut the tree.
Well, that, and the solution to clean it. And the housing standards ordinance, what do we?
Well, before we skip over it,
Yeah.
what we come up, what'd she give you with?
Oh,
her,
it was 2 gallons of water to 1 gallon of bleach you had found for the cedar. Yeah,
Right, so,
so we need to, I don't know if we can get together and do that, or if,
is that
Henry, does he, I don't know.
We already put it up there, but I'll-
No.
I'll figure that out.
You're older than he is.
What are you trying to say? I'm trying to say,
so
You fell off your roof when you were up on there.
Yeah, but the ground comes up quick.
So, you gonna take care of that, Chan?
Yeah.
Okay,
Let me know, I'll help you.
all right.
I'll
Hold
tie
on,
the
let me-
rope around your neck.
I've been waiting for something.
What's that?
Yeah, we need to, yeah,
Yeah, I know last time I was over there looking at it too, the tree's kinda just really growing right over the whole gazebo and dropping that pitch on it all the time, that's not helping at all.
well, do we wanna take the whole thing down, or, I mean, if we could wait, who does the Christmas in the park that puts the lights on that tree? We could get the bucket truck in and take care of that top.
Doesn't Timmy do it for the town?
That's the rec committee was doing the
Well,
last couple of
yeah.
years, recently anyway.
Well, we'll find out from Dale when next time they're gonna be in town,
Yeah.
doing some tree work.
Um,
All right. You wanna
Ask
talk
Rick?
to Rick?
Rick,
Yes.
welcome. Two things. First of all, the solar information that you gave us, Jack had asked, and he's leaving this copy here for Natalie to read through. So there wasn't any action you needed, obviously
No,
tonight
that's
or
something that the
anything.
state's been working on, and I
Right.
think if you read that pamphlet, just every wastewater facility's done something different.
Yeah.
Some people use grant money, some people use user fees, some people have done a combination of both, it does have the full chart and James and I went to look at that, was not complete in here at that one time, because it thought it was outright.
Yeah.
I did talk to the operator there, he was, the purchase paid agreement, he was in favor of that, but they had the funds, so they bought theirs right up like I said, the state's like compiling that, because you're getting a lot of outreach from other operators, for solar, lower the carbon footprint.
Right.
Those things. Sewer plants are, usually the biggest energy users for municipalities.
You started to go there on that.
Hopefully next week, Matt Goodell came down this week, so we went over everything. And he was hoping that he'd be there next week. He said the latest will be the week after, he's just finishing up with him now. So he'll be in there very shortly. Make sure that happens.
The other thing came up, was wanted the 6 hookups down on Ward Road.
Yeah.
And remember we talked about it, and you said the residential water isn't a problem, we have plenty.
Yeah, and again, I have seen I supposedly there's supposed to be a site plan, to see what's going on, as far as my authority, there's plenty of water pressure and volume there. So, I mean, there's over 80 pounds of pressure there, so we have to supply 30 pounds of pressure at all times. We're supposed to, supply 8 gallons a minute per household. There's more than sufficient amount of water there for me to approve their application.
Right.
Where it goes from there is, I'd be looking for, if there was 6 lots that were approved, they had proper road frontage, and each service goes directly into the lot. I did have some preliminary talk with David. He wanted a letter of support. I said, be better off if you guys approach the board and the planning committee. And then I did have some talk with Charlie Lawrence. Charlie's working with the board. That would kind of be the same thing, and I told him I just told the board of selectmen tonight. As far as numbers go, as far as water pressure and volume, there's plenty there. In my personal opinion, it has no effect on what the condition is on the end of Richmond Road, on the end of Warwick Road right now.
That was my.
Right, that's, again, where that goes from the 6 lots, if it gets approved, if David tells me that. So, again, we kicked around the sewer, that's really not an option there.
Well, that's planning board issue anyway.
His thought was to make it work, that we could have the water connections.
Oh, yeah.
He'd have the septic systems, he'd get state-approved septic systems.
How does that, oh, go ahead.
The letters that he sent was just asking for our okay to go ahead and.
Again,
Well,
he should get approved from the,
Oh, yeah.
the planning board committee should ask for approval from the water department and ask for a site plan with, where the water connection is gonna be and all that kind of thing, so they can approve it, send it, and I can approve it for them to finish approving it, so the board can.
He doesn't have to
Right.
cross the road 6 times, once for each.
Well, his idea was to cross it 3 times and run 2 services, which is fine, but I have to see how the site adjustments are done, how those lots are situated, so one service stays on this lot, one service you can do it, and the other one stays on the other lot, so we don't have,
Right, you're not tearing up the neighbor's yard for.
exactly,
Right.
for your other neighbor's water line,
Right.
so we don't have the issues that we have traditionally, in some instances.
So it sounds like there's we need a lot more information.
Yeah, right, we need a.
Well, I think there's a lot of information before final approval and a final,
yeah.
final permit.
Subdivisions, some kind of idea how the lots are gonna be. Our water application asks for that, design of the property, the house, and how the water service would enter the property.
Well, we can approve it at this level, I think,
Well,
right?
we don't want to prove anything, but I think from what I'm hearing is we all agree that we all support it as long as everything's done properly.
Yeah, the only concern that I had was because I remember when they put in the development, they did a flow test, remember that?
There was some.
And the issues were the water, for the fire hydrants down further.
Absolutely, and there are fire coalitions on that road.
Oh, yeah.
But he's not asking for fire protection, how that all plays into this. That's really the fire chief's, how he looks at it, and,
Well, where's the nearest hydrant compared to that?
Nearest
right
hydrant,
across the street.
right across the
Right
street.
out, Van Holmes' old place, right across the
Oh, yeah.
street from there.
Yeah.
So, but again, it's set right there, it's adequate, I can't tell you the flows right off the top. As you move down the road, obviously, that's when we get ourselves into problems. If they tag more than one hydrant during a fire, and then obviously at the end of and if there was a fire hydrant, I has been tagged, the end of the line is not, doesn't have adequate pressure.
That's-
We're not meeting, you know, the state's requirements or, you know,
Right.
WA requirements for.
I forgot all about Ken Kozo.
Where does the water line reduce? Below there or above there? At the
Right
intersection?
on highways,
Oh, okay.
at the tap line. It goes from 8 to 6 inch. Again, we've got.
I know we had a
It's in our
problem.
master plan, you have 12 inch down Main Street, all the way down to Piney Woods, well, actually to the end of that. But I mean, my goal is to get the Piney Woods and wrap Piney Woods around, and that would clean up all those, you know, fire flow issues.
Yeah.
We'd open that all up, you know, for
Right.
whatever you want, you know, what it would be opened up for, a lot of that's protected conservation.
Well, I was
Right.
telling the board members that weren't around or didn't realize, but the planning board, when they okayed those 4 houses there, right across from Ken Kozo house, that's the reason they made them put wells in,
Yeah.
because of the fire. Yeah. There was plenty of residential.
There's plenty of residential water there, right, and again, that's to the, you know, the boards and the
Yeah.
fire chiefs, if someone said, well, we're in a more dangerous situation down there, if there's a fire, or,
Right.
I already can tell you that the situation down there, it's already
Pretty bad.
pretty bad, just to be improved, and that's what we're trying to work on. Like Piney Woods, again, I was hoping we could get the going Echo this year too, with, you know, the.
Oh, yeah, any update on that?
Well, we weren't able to,
No.
unfortunately, from Friday to Monday morning, it went from from $68,000 under budget to around $20,000 under budget. So that came down, tried to shift a couple hydrants that we had given them
Yeah.
out of the budget, because that line item was like 5,000 a hydrant. That didn't help, because Paul gave me a price for, I believe this, I do have the price, but they would have done it for $68,000 for the hydrant, valve, and five connections, which is a good price, but it just,
Oh, yeah.
it wasn't gonna happen, so we'll just come in at a little under budget. And again, I have not seen that last number, that was 20,000, we did a little bit more, we did the last connections there for Swan, and they did that valve out here I had to change the valve failed when we shut High Street off, the valve was bad anyways on the Richmond Road side, it had been bad for a long time, the duct was bad. We shut it off, and then once we made the last turn to shut it off, it just kept spinning. We worked through the whole project, obviously we shut more water off than we wanted to, all the sites we got shut off. But, they went back in, and we basically had 12-inch valve left, so we took that line item, and we used that to trade off, to put that 6-inch valve in. So now we have a 6-inch valve on the Richmond Road side, that whole, it's brand new, so. We actually only have one old valve, and this one out here by the common. But Civil War statue, that's the only last old one in the system left in this area.
One thing I wanted to, did you notice the
I
sidewalk?
was just gonna ask you that.
The sidewalk up there, you know, like in between Swan and Union? It looks like it almost looks like it started to undermine and cave a little bit.
They're gonna go from Parker Street now, I didn't hear the word, I talked to him, Tom wasn't in town today, but he had told me initially they're gonna pull and drag that whole sidewalk after they patch it. From Parker Street or the school exit all the way down to Union Street.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, they did know that was on the punch list, that part, especially from Swan to Union.
Yeah.
It was real bad.
Yeah.
It was a little, because I asked the question today, are you gonna do from Parker to Todd? They told me he wasn't around, and I made it back out to check with the engineer and his crew, so, that's what I'll be looking for tomorrow. He said 1 inch to maybe inch and a half, and he's got a paving box, he's gonna drag that paving box down. Yes, that was part of the punch list. Yeah, he knew he impacted that, but,
Good, thank you very much.
again, yeah, I just want to let you know, tomorrow, we will start the asset management, with Granite State Rural Water, so we'll start working on that, David Howard start working on that project, deliver those deliverables to the Board of Selectmen in the town. So we'll be collecting all our parallel, pipes and valves and hydrants in the ground, and give them classifying what they're made of, materials and life expectancy of them, installation dates and all of that nature, and working on the response for the sanitary survey, because that has to be, we have that response by November 2nd. start with a permit discharge groundwater for all 3 wells to start off with, so I'm working on that right now. Address that letter, so I have no preliminary costs, so I'm working whether we can put that in the USA grant, that we're USDA grant that we're working on now, or we can do it on our own, so I think that those numbers down as far as running the software for that for us program.
Okay, thank you, Rick.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
I will entertain a motion to support the request from Beauvais.
Oh, no, I'm not making a motion on anything, so I get more information on anything.
I was looking for a blessing to go ahead and do the rest of it. If we're not behind it,
What's it requesting? What's the actual wording of the request?
His request is he wants to be able to move forward with going to the planning board and stuff.
He doesn't need our copy for that.
No, he doesn't, but I
If we're
wanted
not
to make,
behind it,
I
we're
just,
fighting, he's not gonna do it.
I need a motion to support it. It's not a motion to approve it or deny it or anything, just, I support it, and as long as he does everything the proper way, and the planning board gives approval, then I'll approve it then, but for now, I support it. I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
No.
Motion passes 4-1. All right, is there anything else? Go ahead.
Broadband committee met, last night, via Zoom. We, picked our chair, vice chair, and secretary, and our meeting schedule. And we're gonna continue to meet on Zoom, Tuesdays at 6:30. And I will.
Every Tuesday?
So for the foreseeable future, yeah, every Tuesday. And I will let Jen give you, the report for the committee. I know she's got some requests for us as well.
We just have a couple, Jennifer Howard. We have a couple requests from the broadband committee. We just met last night, so we're in the process of putting together our request for information and a survey for the town. And I did contact the school today. I haven't heard back from them on the survey. They already sent one out for the families with students on their connectivity issues, problems, if it's good, bad, or indifferent. So we're waiting to hear back from them. And what we're asking from you, the due date for the grant is coming up quick, December 23rd. So we would like to utilize the town grant writer to assist us, if that would be okay, and then some funds to do a mailing for other residents in the town.
Well, as far as grant writer, I'm definitely fine with that. That's why we have a grant writer, so. Yeah, go ahead and reach out to him. You'll have to probably contact Carrie when she's back, or contact Margaret to get his information.
Is she back?
Carrie, is she back tomorrow or Friday?
She had the
Yeah, I think she's not back till Monday.
Monday? Monday.
What were those mailings? How much? Like, were they $400 or $500?
I know every door direct mail is about 400, and it wouldn't even be every door at this point, right?
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, 400-ish. I think that's.
And we don't know yet what we're gonna get from the school, so if it's enough information, we don't.
I think we would like, maybe to start with like a $500, and we probably won't even spend the $500, just to gain approval now, because we have to be able to send this survey as soon as possible so we're able to, get the survey conducted, so we could continue our look into get everybody getting access to broadband in the community.
Yeah, Jack's looking right now to see what's budgeted, what we have for money to spend, or where we can spend the money to do that. It's obviously necessary and has to be done, but we gotta know where we're spending the money from before we spend it.
I mean, we could also piggyback if there's a town mailing going out, if you guys are looking to save money. If there's a town mailing coming out anytime soon, that we could possibly jump on that survey, if you guys were looking to save money that way.
Yeah, they won't be until tax bills.
Yeah, so no, that won't work.
Right.
Household surveys to see what people have currently for broadband.
People know that's what
We don't know how many people might be working remote.
they wanna go to.
Get out information from the school.
I don't know where it
Families
come from.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not really sure where that money can come from. I would be willing to, make a motion to approve, for now until we know where the money's coming from and what would be available. I would make a motion to approve, spending up to $400 contingent on the business manager, letting us know exactly where those funds can come from.
We can vote on that. I mean, I just make a suggestion, voting is like in 2 weeks. Maybe you can set up like a little table where, like your champions had last time, and just leave it there.
Yeah, but not everybody votes, so the survey wouldn't go out to everybody.
Well, wait a minute, what was the last part, Jen?
I don't know.
So leave, your suggestion is to set up a table.
Set something up there. I mean, if people, you're not gonna have them voted, I mean, even if they just put their name and number on that, it's a way to contact them. I mean, I think what she said was not everybody votes, but it would still be fair.
I mean, I don't mind doing it with
I mean, it's just a suggestion.
Right. Right, or, I mean, it might even be worth putting up a, even if just put up a sign at voting that says if you're having issues with broadband, contact us. And
Yeah, but that's not the survey that we're requesting from
no,
people.
I'm saying on top of secondary too.
Okay.
Amy, take a look at it.
Right, but I would still be willing to make that motion, and that would be contingent on Amy being able to say that, yes, we have the money to do a mailing, to do a. Anybody want to second my motion, or
Second that.
any other discussion on it? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So, 2 people voted out of 5? You voted for it? Okay.
But if she can find it.
Right.
Well, I'm going, I didn't say anything, but I'm going, Ben.
You're voting for it?
Yeah.
Were you voting, Jack, or?
You're sitting right next to me. You didn't hear me?
No?
Yes, I said.
Is that all from the board now?
Can I possibly ask when Amy would have an answer on that, just because it's very time sensitive for the committee?
I don't know.
Okay.
I will be contacting Amy first thing in the morning and ask her.
Awesome, great.
There won't be a deadline to it, but I'll ask her first thing in the morning, and knowing Amy, she'll probably have an answer back fairly quick.
Awesome. Thank you, board.
And I'll reach out to Gloria when I have the answer, or I'll have Amy reach out to Gloria. All right, is that it from the board now? All right, I will open it to the floor. Actually, no, before that, Mike, did you have anything else to add to the clock besides the plexiglass going in?
First and foremost, I'd like to publicly acknowledge Chairman, Mr. Stevens, for his efforts up there last year. Also, what is the board's pleasure with respect to the east clock face, which has an 1.25 inch crack in it?
Oh, the new one up there? Yeah, well, I was hoping to get an answer from Mike from Steepleworks as to what he could do with that. What he would do about replacing it. I mean,
He said if we need to replace it, he's willing to do it, but as you know, I have no authority to express or imply that it has to come.
right, but we're not paying for another clock face, right?
Absolutely. This is warranty material.
Right, I was gonna say, we shouldn't be paying for it. If it's cracked already, I think he needs to get up there and replace it.
Okay, who will express that sentiment to him?
I will, does the board want to give me permission to reach out to Mike from Steepleworks and?
Wasn't Carrie supposed to do something about that last week?
He'll be down tomorrow.
Yeah, he'll be here tomorrow, Mike from Steepleworks?
Yeah, they're gonna do that plexiglass.
Oh, yeah, they're doing a plexiglass.
Give me a signed note I can pick up?
I can meet with you guys tomorrow, and, I'll let them know that we want it fixed.
Also, the other peculiarity of that clock face is that it was hit with an oval sander on the back, so it's charcoal gray during the daytime, it's very hard to read.
Right,
And
yeah,
at night, it's almost like putting a clock face on a flashlight and looking straight into it. So, I was expecting some kind of a milk white plexiglass, but then the reason why we chose the clear is, as I said, it was just simply to copy the numbers off the old clock face instead of using a protractor.
Right.
Unfortunately, if you did it correctly, mathematically, then
Well,
6 o'clock would be 180 out of.
yeah, well, if they're gonna replace it, let's replace it correctly.
Right.
Yeah.
If we could express that as well, because it seems like every dot has to be, every I has to be dotted, every T has to be crossed, because the whole situation is pretty much ad hoc.
Right.
And there's never a bill of materials. I asked him as a trustee if he would be kind enough to submit something other than just work performed. If it's okay with you.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
On another note, Jeremy has suggested possibility of giving the old clock face to the Historical Society. I see no historical value in a piece of plexiglass.
That was,
Is malformed.
that was the old one that was,
It's sitting down under the portico, under the porch down there. Mr. Stevens, you know what that is.
and that was just the old, that real thin plexiglass one that wasn't even
It won't
usable.
support anything.
Yeah, I don't think that needs to be donated to anybody. Donate it to Monadnock Disposal.
Okay, shall I run it up there on Thursday?
Yeah.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
If somebody wants it.
Okay, also the finial, which the only way to restore that is to inject it with resin. And that's pretty far gone. I don't see any value in that.
Oh, yeah, the old ones, 'cause we got new ones being made anyway.
That's correct, yeah. coming down tomorrow.
Yeah, any of the old stuff that's so far gone, that's not even worth hanging on to.
It's starting to look like a junk pile out there on this one.
Right, right. I mean, at this point, it has no historical value left to it, because it's just gone, it's history.
Other than a termite farm, that's.
Right, so, yeah, I agree, clean it up.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, back to the housing standards ordinance, so
Oh.
what do we,
Yep. I don't know, we still have quite a bit of time for, warrant articles, so I haven't really given it a second thought. Last time we talked about it, Jack said he was looking to get some information.
Yeah, and I had no response, but I can go forward with, it's basically all or nothing for me. The problem we had, we talked about Keenhausen and Southwestern properties that they own, they were, doing their own inspections, and if we're gonna do them, we're gonna do them. We're not gonna rely on the outsiders to tell us, so, that's how I feel. Because, I just, some of the conditions that they've been inspected, I wouldn't think would pass our ordinance.
but did we find out if we're allowed to do those inspections?
That's what I was.
Yeah.
The legal part of it.
Yeah.
So I'm just waiting for a return message.
So we wanna hold off still and wait? Or, I mean, we got plenty of time before warrant articles are due anyway,
Yeah.
so no matter what, there's gonna be a warrant article on the ballot.
Well, I mean, if it's all or nothing, then we would say, okay, it's gonna be all, and then we find out we can't do those, then we're still.
Right.
Right?
Right, I mean, but that's why I'd rather just wait until we know for sure if we can or can't.
Right.
Well,
So we only make one motion.
All right, been waiting for.
a month.
Yeah.
Or more.
Yeah, it looks like we can, into January, I mean, we have time.
Oh, we got plenty.
Yeah.
Yeah, warrant articles aren't usually due till, I think it's 2 weeks before voting. Like January or February. No, 2 weeks before deliberative.
Yeah, this is before deliberative.
Just for the board's information, the state had the auction over there, review today, and they're gonna have an online auction starting tomorrow to Friday. On the vehicle, ask Dale if you want to go and look at it, and he didn't want, that's not what he wanted, but they had 20-something SUVs over there.
What are you thinking about the land use
Yeah.
downtown?
But they all, and the other hand too, is they all had over $100,000.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
So, we're going from the police department, $100,000 miles car to.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So is that it from the board?
Yep.
All right, and now I will, something on the clock or?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Just a thought, I would like to listen, I hear some from the entire board. When Mike replaces or installs the plexiglass, can we pull down the hardware cloth that's up there? It would be redundant.
Pull down what?
The hardware cloth that's up there to keep the pigeons out.
Oh,
Since that's going to be going from bottom to top,
Oh, sure.
they're not gonna get in there.
yeah.
Also, could we recommend when you and I go down there that he run down to Obashan and pick up some stainless steel screws and maybe some cup washers to hold it in place because they'll just rust right out?
Yeah, if it's that damn, if it's getting that wet up there, they need to be stainless steel screws. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Thank you, Mike.
Oh, one other thing. Sherry, we already talked about the safe. We decided to leave it in your new building.
Oh,
No, we don't know what we're gonna do with it.
Sherry, I have a question now.
I'm gonna make it go up. Yes.
Not to do with the cemetery, but to do with the welfare department. And I'm not sure, you may not even be aware of this. Since you've been doing most of the duties recently because of Mrs. Tetro's health, this board, 4, 5, 6 years ago, whatever, passed a policy on a work detail for anyone that is,
Oh, work program,
right.
4.5 years ago.
Did you know about that?
I do.
Okay. So can you give us if, maybe whatever, jobs, the duties that have been done, just so we can have some idea of, yeah, this program's working. And
Repayment services.
yeah. Thank you. I wasn't sure if you were aware of it or not.
I am aware of it, I haven't had anybody that was eligible to be using the program.
I know we had some working because of that town beach waking up and stuff. Yeah. So.
But if these are welfare recipients that are doing the work, I am not being informed of them.
Before your time,
Oh,
before you came on board there.
it's always in the back of my mind, but so far I've not had people who are eligible for it.
And I think the problem we were having, if I'm not mistaken, was who's responsible for insurance if they get hurt doing town?
No,
That wasn't a
that
problem.
wasn't an issue.
That was-
No, they sign the same waiver as anybody else that volunteers for the town.
Right.
I remember we talked about it, I knew there was some kind of a holdup there.
Yeah.
I believe there's a form,
Yes, there should be.
I believe there is.
All right. At this time, I will open it to the floor for public comment for 15 minutes. Anybody from the public has anything?
No?
At this time, I will make a motion to go into non-public under RSA 91A32, little c, and I think that's it, just the one, right?
I'll second that. No, I don't know if that's legal or not.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, C and E. Okay, James, you,
Yes.
pain to keep it. I know Carrie uses a tape recorder. All right, roll call, Jack.
Aye.
James.
Aye.
Ken. Gloria. Ben, aye. We're now in non-public. I do not foresee us having any other business.